Elementary, my dear Kobayashi. I have figured out what ails this anime, and it is weak execution. Good day to all you viewers out there. I am the Black Critic Guy, and today I'm here to analyze the anime, Rampo. I really don't know what's the correct spelling of that word, but I'm just gonna say it's Rampo Kitan, game of Laplace. Now, the anime Rampo Kitan follows our main character, Nagisa. No, wait, I mean Hideyoshi. No, wait! I meant to say Kobayashi, a high school boy framed for the murder of his teacher, who strikes a deal with a very well-known detective in Japan by the name of Akashi that if he can prove his innocence by finding the real killer, he'll allow him to become his assistant. He does so and now begins his job as the assistant to the detective Akashi, helping him solve various cases. Now, like some of the anime that I'm requested to watch and review on this channel, I didn't really know much about Rampo Kitan Game of Laplace, so I did a little research on the anime, and what I discovered was pretty damn interesting. Like the fact that this anime was inspired by the works of author Edogawa Rampo, who was a very well-known Japanese mystery writer in the early 20th century and actually helped to mold the Japanese mystery genre, with most of his stories revolving around a detective by the name of Akashi, who's a character in this anime as well. And this anime was sort of like an homage to the man celebrating the 50th anniversary of his death. So that made the anime a little bit more interesting in my book. And also, I'm an avid enjoyer of the mystery genre. I love a good mystery like most people, and I like Sherlock Holmes type characters that have to solve mysteries and face nemesis with their assistants or psychic at hand, and that looked like the direction that this anime was going to take. And after watching the entirety of the anime, all I have to say is like School Live last week, I saw the potential in this anime, but its execution was underwhelming. Now, that's not to say that there aren't any good elements to this anime. There are quite a few. First off, and the most obvious, the animation is visually stunning in this anime. It looks great. Lurche delivers once again. I especially love the stylistic choices used in the animation, from the character designs to the look of the city to the way characters visualize things in their heads when solving a case to the way characters see other people. Like in the first episode, when Kobayashi sees another person, he sees them as like this blank slate. All you really see is like an outline and some color with them, but you don't really get a full definition of what they look like or even some detail. At first I thought, okay, now they're just being lazy, they're cutting corners again, but this was a purposeful move by the animators and writers alike. The reason they chose to do this was to give off an aura of alienation and mystery to who these characters are. And personally, I thought it was ingenious. The dark elements of the story are not only well handled, but they hit you real deep. Like the things that happen in this anime go beyond tragedy. They're heartbreaking. There's this one episode that focuses solely on a character's backstory that was so soul-crushing, I had no words for it. I just was at complete shock at what I was looking at, and after thinking about it, I kind of felt like the character was justified in what they were doing because of this incident. Now, that's just a personal opinion. You don't have to agree with it, and I'm pretty sure the characters in the show didn't. But for me, from where I stood, I was like, yeah, I would have done the same thing. In fact, the concept of 20 faces, in my opinion, is actually quite believable. I could see somebody actually doing that and causing kind of like this uprising to say, hey, we had enough of corruption, we have enough of all these criminals just like posting bail and like getting away scot-free. We're gonna do something about it. I could actually see that happening. And a majority of movies and TV shows have also covered this element. And it's nothing original, but I thought it was just really interesting to see an anime's approach to it, and I liked its execution. And finally, the characters, most of which were solid in the anime, but the real standouts were the supporting characters. All of them were just so bizarre and eccentric enough for me to find them so damn fascinating. The most fascinating out of all of them was the Shadow Man. I just found this character so unique, so interesting. I liked every time he showed up. I wanted to learn more about the character. Not that Shadow Man. Get him out of here. This Shadow Man, this one. It's not Disney Week yet. The fact that the character is a master of disguise, wears a paper bag over his head, and views little girls as gods, how could you not find that character interesting? I mean, a bit creepy, especially with that last part, but he's just so damn interesting. I wanted to see him more in the anime. There's also this dominatrix who's over the top in all the right ways, and you really want to just learn more about this character and what's her relationship with Akashi. It's never really touched upon in the anime. I mean, you kind of can guess that they might have had some type of fling or romance in the past. It's not really clear, but the character just over the top craziness. And out of all the main characters, I really liked Kobayashi. Yes, the character is kind of weird as he approaches really sad and tragic situations with a smile and like, oh yes, I find this really fun. No sane person would find dark shit like this really fun. But considering who the character is, you know, this character that just kind of felt unfulfilled, feels like life is boring and stuff, the fact that he's getting drawn into this dark world would fascinate him, and thus fascinates you about the character. This young whippersnapper has the makings of a young Sherlock Holmes, if I do say so myself. But sadly, there's just a lot of bad elements holding this anime down. The biggest one of all being Akashi. Not only is he an incredibly dull and disinteresting character, but he's an even worse detective in the entire anime. I think he's only solved one case, and even in that one case he had a lot of help given to him. The reason that this is such a big issue is because throughout the anime they played this character up as being this really brilliant and intelligent detective, almost on the same level as Sherlock Holmes. In fact, in Japan the character is almost akin to Sherlock Holmes. But the evidence doesn't show or support this notion. Nowhere in the entire anime did I ever see this character use his intelligence or his clever skills of deduction to solve a case or do anything. The only thing I really gauged about the character is that he's damaged, he's a bit of a good fighter, he crushes sleeping pills because he can't sleep, he drinks a lot of coffee, and he's a bit of a buzzkill. That is it. What's even more embarrassing is how all the cases that he's in charge of aren't even solved by him. They're solved by Kobayashi, his assistant. That's like having a story where Sherlock Holmes is just sitting around and acting all depressed, and it's actually Watson who's the very eccentric, zany type that goes out and solves all the cases. A role reversal. I don't know if that's really how the character of Akashi is like, and Kobayashi is the one that does all the solving. I don't know much about the backstory of these characters, but the fact that they were building this character up to be a Sherlock Holmes type character, I saw no proof of it. None whatsoever. So I gotta ask, to any of my Japanese viewers out there, or to anybody who's a fan of this character or the novels that he's featured in, is this supposed to be the way the character's supposed to act, or did the writers just fuck him up beyond repair and that's not how he is whatsoever? I would love to know. Please let me know. To sum it up, Akashi is an apathetic character and a poor excuse for a detective. And his backstory is completely cliche too. The mystery elements to the anime weren't all that enthralling. I wasn't really engaged to find out what was going on because honestly, most of them were pretty easy to solve. You could see them coming from a mile away. As for the series' main antagonist, 20 Faces, while I found the concept of the character interesting and somewhat believable to a degree, the execution of the character was a bit too predictable. The plan that 20 Faces was building up to in the last episode was a bit too predictable and convoluted. It just didn't really make sense that that was what would cause the revolution, in my opinion. And the reveal to who the true identity of 20 Faces was, I called it. And I'm pretty sure a majority of you also called it. No one was shocked by this reveal. Overall, while Rampo Kitan Game of Laplace had some good elements to it and had the potential to be something great, it just hit way too many speed bumps on the road, got itself a flat tire, and missed the mark entirely. And for an anime that's supposed to be paying homage to a legendary Japanese mystery writer, this is a pretty lackluster homage if I do say so myself. And that's why I'm going to give this anime a 3 out of 5 stars. It's okay. If you don't see this anime, no one's gonna beat you up for it. I highly recommend maybe reading the novels written by Edogawa Rampo. I bet they're really good. Or if you want to see a definitive mystery anime, why not go check out Case Closed? It's basically this anime, but done 10 times better. In fact, the creator of Case Closed was heavily inspired by the writings of Edogawa Rampo and the character of Akeshi that he used it to make Case Closed. Bet you didn't know that, did you? But anyway, what did you guys think of this anime? Did you enjoy the hell out of it? Or did you find it really mediocre and dull and you just couldn't get into it? And let me know who is the most lackluster detective you've ever seen in an anime, movie, TV show, book, what have you. Comment below, let me know, and stay tuned tomorrow for a very special collaborative review, wink wink. Until that video comes out, guys, if you'd like to see more reviews on this channel and be a part of the Black Critic crew, please hit that subscribe button below, like this video if you really enjoyed it, and I'm Tony Wild II, the sophisticated detective known as the Black Critic Guy. Until then, peace, YouTube.